Alright guys, welcome back to another MCreator tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at logic operators. So if you're working with Redstone or have worked with Redstone, you might know some of these types of gates like the AND, OR, XOR. There's also NAND, NOR, and XNOR blocks. And then there's also inverted ones like not true and then true. So these are the different values for comparing things. And the focus today will be on this block right here. We'll be grabbing that from the logic tab, and then there is the kind of light blue operator. It's for logic, and if we grab this one, we can see that if we left click on the equal sign, you can see that there's a list that pops up that gives you all the different types of values. So I'll quickly go over each one, and then you guys can know a little bit more. So equals basically compares if two things are exactly the same, where the not equals to, the one with the equal sign with a slash through it, that basically means if these things are not the same. Then we have the AND block, which basically tests if one thing is true and the other thing is true. And then there's OR, which is going to test only if at least one thing is true. It can actually have both conditions return true, and that will actually work. At least one needs to be true in order for it to return true. And then we have the XOR, which is only requires one thing to be true. So if both are true or both are false, then this will return false. But if only one thing is true in the condition, then it will basically return true. And then to get the opposite versions of these blocks, what you can do is you can actually get the not block up here, and you can drag that onto this part here, and then you can create things like NAND, NOR, and XNOR gates. So exclusive are these ones here. That's what the X stands for, exclusive. NAND gate is basically the exact opposite of a AND gate. So rather than both conditions being true, only one condition or both being false will actually return true. If A is true and B is false, then that will return true. If A is false and B is true, then that will return true. Or if both are false, then that will return true. And you can expect the same kind of logic between NOR blocks as well. So there is basically, rather than any condition, as long as it was true, it will basically reverse that and require only both to be false to be true. So basically if you do this, then it will be true if both are false. And then the XNOR gate, rather than one being true, either both need to be false or both need to be true in order for it to return true. So that's basically the gist of how it works. When you're using a not block, this is going to invert the type of condition. If this returns false, then what it's going to do is actually go return true. And if you go ahead and return true, then this is going to return false. Any other condition is going to be the exact same. So this would return true right now if it was connected to an if statement. So let's pretend it's connected to an if statement. This will always return true, and this will always return false based on the default behavior. So I'll quickly pop up a image in the video here. You can take a look at all the different ways that the blocks can interact with each other. It might be a little bit easier with a visual of how it works. This is based off of the Wikipedia page for logic gates, which I will provide in the description. I've basically created a sprite based on their charts. So yeah, it's a quick, easy reference. You can come back to the video anytime and check this out if you need to know what kind of logic gates that you need for your project. So hopefully this helps. So for your assignment today, I'm going to be printing out a few of these values. I suggest printing out starting with the equal sign and then working your way through the different types. There is a lot of different combinations that you can actually test. So if you go ahead and print this directly to a global trigger, something like player right clicks with item, then just right click with like a stick or something like that, then this will basically return the value when in console. So you can see the different values in console, how it basically works. Anyhow, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, comment down below, rate the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.